So for our first theme of the new term, museum birds, I'm going to get you to begin by making some drawings of the exhibits using charcoal and chalk on grey paper. And then I'm going to encourage you to make some drawings using biros. And I'll explain this more. This relates really to the process of making lino prints next week in the studio from these sketches. And we'll be looking at creating patterns, contours, and the biro will be just the tool for that transforming process. So the museum has an amazing collection of birds. And these are much more cooperative than the ones that we tried to draw at the zoo last summer. I think you'll be so spoilt for choice because they do have such an incredible variety, and so many of them are displayed in an amazingly dynamic way. So there's a chance to draw movement. So I'm voicing over this bit because it's quite noisy in the museum. I'm just demonstrating the first thing I'm going to get you to do, which is drawing on grey paper with charcoal and chalk. I've taken a thin stick and done a sort of tentative outline, and now I'm building up some tone, hatching and shading. I can smudge that very easily, and then I can strengthen some of my lines, and because it's grey paper, I can add touches of white for white areas and even mix it with the charcoal to make some light areas. So as an aid and not an impediment to you transforming your drawings of the museum birds into designs, I'm going to encourage you to make some drawings with biro. Top tip: don't press too hard at the beginning. Get some sort of tentative line, outline and so on before pressing harder and committing yourself. The reason why I'm suggesting biro is because it is pretty unforgiving, and rather than making sort of suggestions of light and shade, other details, you are going to be able ultimately to work in a much more definite way, selecting from what you see particular lines and textures and patterns and so on. With birds it'll be a lot to do with feathers and learning. This is what I'm hoping from the first drawings that you make. You start to think in terms of not just a kind of side-on view, which I seem to be doing, of your birds, but finding some more dynamic and articulated viewpoints so that there will be form already just through the kind of posture, but then you'll gradually build up patterns of feathers or markings which in the biro you will need to be more decisive about. Here, what do I do about this wing? This chicken hen has got some sort of black band on its back, and then feathers that create sort of contours. And I've really got to decide what feathers to represent and start to define them more with my biro. And that will translate, I'm going to make that dark. My biro won't work because it's pointing down the way. So rather like drawing with ink, because indeed it is ink, there's a good process of having to be more decisive because of the limitations of the medium, and because my pen is sitting on straw. That's going to be part of my pattern making as well. So it was quite hard work drawing the chicken sitting on the floor. So I've just had a go at this golden eagle, I think, which I've tried to look at from more around this angle. And because I wasn't recording it, I've been able to look at a kind of variety of markings, contours across the body of the